Hey, what's going on Facebook and Instagram? Let me get. Oh, I do have Instagram. Okay, Facebook and YouTube and the Instagram over here. I didn't. Oh, did it? No, I didn't go live on Instagram. Okay, now I'm about to go live on Instagram. I'm all over the place. Anyway, guys, listen. So on the weekends, I like to slow down to speed up. Meaning, I like to do the spiritual part of my work, the mindset, the money type part of my work. This is a time when I listen to a lot of trainings that I missed during the week, replays. I take my notes, and y'all, it's so powerful. Oh my gosh, it's so powerful, and this is so applicable. I don't care if you're not an entrepreneur, you're not a business person. If you are a part of the few people who don't have an attention span so small that they click off within a few minutes if you don't get to the point, if you stay in that minority of people who just hold on through this broadcast, I promise you what you're about to hear will help you. So I'm sitting here listening to my mentor, David Imonitie, and let me tell y'all something too. Like, this work is often greatly underestimated. The spiritual part of business, the spiritual part of life, and period. You looking introspectively and really dissecting how things work out, instead of just always going, super duper, going real fast, going nowhere, right? And this is the part that matters the most, because the unseen is always greater than the seen. But this is the part that people underestimate, because again, it's not seen. That's why I give people a sneak peek, because if they join my team, I want them to know that Kim doesn't just wake up and just have money in the bank account. No, Kim does the spiritual work, the manifestation, learning, reverse engineering, certain things that successful people and mentors know. And it's for this reason that when I have my successes in my company, and then people find out about it, whether it's on the leaderboard or I post or whatever the case may be, inevitably there's always some rep in my company who's like, hey, can you help me? I want you to mentor me. Can you pick my brain? And the answer is no. No, not because I'm mean, but because I know that I only see those people show up when I've attained the prize. I don't see those people show up on my Facebook Lives or any of my videos or any of my posts when I'm going through my process. See? There are a lot of people who are lured and seduced by the light at the end of the tunnel, but they don't want to go through the tunnel. Okay. And I'm just not interested in not just working. I'm not interested in being in association with people like that, because it's disrespectful of the process. Okay? Disrespectful of the process. So this what you're about to hear, this is a part of the process. It's David Imonitie. He went live today. It's always a blessing to hear him speak, because he completely changed my life when I met him years ago. And even though I'm not a part of his organization, he is still having just as much impact, not just on me, but also on my team, because I share with them. For those of us who are in the WhatsApp Believe Nation group, y'all know how we do, writing our affirmations every single day, sharing, dream building, future pacing, time jumping, all that good stuff. So quantum leaping, you know how we do. So let's get to it. I already got and when you hear somebody who has the results that you want speak, have your notes ready. Y'all, I keep a 5 subject binder, because I be writing. I don't just be joking, y'all. So let's go. I already started it.
The fact that you know where you're going, that's important.
Know where you're going.
Right. Now, leadership is so that you can first lead yourself, and then what? Lead what?
Other people.
All right? So when I talk about leadership, I'll explain lead. You first have to lead. And the first person you have to lead is yourself. And then you become a leader. A lot of times we want to become a leader before we first learn how to what?
Lead ourselves.
Okay? So I'll talk about that as well today. But I'm also going to dive into some of the skills. All right? Some of the skills that are necessary to win in this type of business. And what you'll find is that the skills that you need to win in this business, a lot of times it translates into other businesses as well.
They do.
Okay?
All aspects of life.
Years ago, I created a formula. All right? It's called the success formula. It's very, very simple. You can write this down. It's desire plus skill times faith equals success. We've already defined what success is.
Desire plus skill.
All right? The progressive realization of a worthy ideal. All right? The desire, all right? The desire is the success. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So, what does that mean? That means that you begin with the end in mind. All right? Desire is the starting point of all achievement. The having a strong feeling to have something. All right? A strong feeling to have something. That's what the word desire means. All right? Have you guys ever looked up the meaning of the word desire? Let's look it up. Let's see if I'm correct.
He loves to do that.
All right? Having a desire.
A lot of successful people like study etymology and reverse engineer words, dissect them, and it's really shocking when you see what some words really truly mean based on their origin.
Of the word desire. Now, I learned that a long time ago. I learned that from the book Think and Grow Rich.
Wonderful.
Okay, so if you haven't read that book yet, that's a book you want to read.
Who's read that
right?
book?
Do we have more lights?
Or even heard of that book? Have y'all heard of that book, Think and Grow Rich? Here it is.
Okay, there you go. I was correct. Desire. A strong feeling of wanting to have something. Okay? It says, or wishing for something to happen.
Now, I love how he's going to break this
Strongly
down.
wish for or want something.
Because all y'all want to be
Right.
motivated,
So,
but you don't know how to get the
when you
motivation.
look at that,
so listen, this is...
Right? The next thing that should go through your mind is, how are feelings created? Right? If desire is the starting point of all achievement, right, and it's the starting point of this formula, it says it's a strong feeling to have something. So the something, right, is what? The desire.
Desire, yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
But in order to have that something that you want, the feelings have to come first, right? So how are feelings created? I want to ask you guys, how are feelings created? Does anybody here have any feelings? Raise your hand if you have any feelings. All right, who's in love? Raise your hand if you're in love. Okay, good. Everybody's in love in here. Wow. The love crew. All right. Cool. All right, now let's dissect that for
No,
a second.
stop. I'm just playing.
You say you're in love, okay? What happened, right, when you to create that feeling?
This is good stuff. They don't know.
Were you just saying that, or you really do have that feeling? All right. You saw the person. Write this down. Right? This is how a feeling is created, right? You saw it. All right. You remember when you saw her, right? Remember when you saw him, right? And then what happened after you saw them? What happened? What was exchanged?
Phone numbers.
Phone number. Got the digits, right? All right. So you got the phone number, right? But really, what was exchanged was some words. Words were exchanged, right? Okay, now you didn't fall in love with them like right away, right? Did you?
No.
Okay. All right. It took some time. All right. It took some what?
Time.
See, a strong feeling, right? Strong feeling takes what?
Time.
A little bit of time. Okay? Alright, so saw it. Okay? Then you guys exchange some words, right? Let me get really detailed here, right? Did you fall in love with the way they smell, maybe?
Yeah.
Like, if they smell bad, would you ever fall in love with them?
No.
Probably not.
Turn off.
So a strong feeling, this strong feeling of love that you have probably has something to do with how they smell. Okay, so you guys exchanged words. Now, when you exchanged words, what was happening? What was happening when you were exchanging words? You're hearing, right? So, like, if you didn't like the sound of their voice,
Right.
probably wouldn't have fell in love with them. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Right? Okay. You guys follow me? You see where I'm going with this?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So we got hearing. You saw them, right? Did you fall in love with them after you touched them? Maybe. So what type of training is this? A strong feeling, right? A desire, like you desire them, right?
Yeah.
What did you do? You probably touched them. Right? Probably touched them, right? Right?
Yes.
Come on, guys, help me out. All right. What else we got? We got hearing, saw them, smelled them, touched them. What's another one?
Taste them.
Oh, no, we can't talk about that. We'll pass on that one.
But this is what he's been teaching on for years. Now, and you said taste them. I'll let y'all go to his Instagram so y'all see.
A strong feeling is created through your five senses.
Through your five senses.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
So a strong feeling for success, because success is such a broad statement, right? I mean, success could be driving this particular car, or having this
relative.
particular home, or having a certain amount of bank account, or a success in marriage, right? But it's all the five senses. Does that make sense? So if you don't go and test drive the car, right? You don't touch the car, you don't smell the car, you don't see the car. Guess what? That feeling is not created, which means you don't have a desire for it. Does that make sense?
Yes.
This is why it's important for you to train your five senses. I literally train my five senses, all right, for success. I only see, speak, touch, feel, success. Everywhere you come to my place, that's the parameters that I said. That's what I call them. I call them success parameters. Where I'm constantly seeing it, constantly hearing it. I've got words everywhere. What am I doing? I'm creating desire. I did that for $10,000 a month. And I said, okay, work for $10,000. Then I did it for 25. Then I did it for 50. Then I did it for 100. So this stuff really works. All right? So now I've put it to where it's $1 million a day. So everything I'm doing right now, there's certain things I'm setting up right now to where one day you're going to hear, man, David actually made $1 million in a day. Right? You get excited about that, man. But that formula, this success formula I'm sharing with you right now, all right, it works for $1,000 a month. It works for $1,000 a week. It works for $1,000 a day. It works for $1,000 an hour. And it doesn't matter. All right. So the question is, am I creating a strong feeling for what it is that I want? Or am I creating a strong feeling for what I don't want? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because what happens is, how's a strong feeling created? Let me give you a test. How's a strong feeling created? Through your what? Five senses. Because that's how feelings are created, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So if I'm having feelings of frustration, if I'm having feelings of, oh, it's not working out, what does that mean? That means that I've trained my five senses to see what I don't want. To see, hear, touch what I don't want.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Right? Now, all of this takes what? Time. So it's not magic. When it happens, though, it'll feel like magic.
Oh yeah, Tanya, I'm great.
But it's not. The magic is pretty instantaneous, right? The
Right.
trick is right there. But that's not how this works. This takes time. Right? But when you have it, now you can utilize it for, you can utilize it as many times as you want. You can utilize it for 10 grand a month, you can utilize it for 100 grand a month, you can utilize it for $1 million a day. It doesn't matter. This formula still works. So are you going to train yourself? Are you going to train your five senses only to see, hear, touch, smell, right? Taste what you want? That's the question. Now, taste doesn't just have to do with, what you're eating, right?
If people got
You have a taste in clothes.
yes.
You have a taste in hotels. You have a taste in you know.
Different things,
How
lifestyle.
many of you ever tasted the food before you actually tasted the food? Right? Think about it.
Yeah.
Right? Like, you have a taste for Mexican. I have a taste for, you know, African food. Right? You're not actually tasting it at that particular time, but you say, hey, I've got a taste for that right now.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So my question is, do you currently have a
Oh,
taste
thank you,
for
Annie
success?
Jarrett. You love my hair. Thank you.
Do you currently have a craving for success?
Yes.
All right, now watch this.
Listen
you
to
can
this.
only crave
Listen.
something you've experienced.
You better.
Say that again?
You can only crave something you have experienced. Apple pie. You have a craving for apple pie. Why do you have a craving for apple pie? Because at one point or another, you had.
If you get this, this changed my life.
All right?
Changed my business.
So how can you have a craving for a Bentley if you've never driven one?
Come on.
You can't. You have to go drive it. Does that make sense?
Yes.
How can you have a craving for a certain type of brand that you want to wear? I used to go to these stores all the time. Okay? The brand I'm actually wearing today, right? I'm wearing Catan.
Don't know
Okay.
that brand?
Leo
I've
brand
never
is
heard of
awesome.
it, but I'm looking it up now. Catan?
Now, the first time I went into Catan, I was shocked. Because I'm looking at their clothes, I'm looking at the blazers. Oh, this is a nice blazer. So I put it on. Oh, this is nice. I said, how much is this? He said, $8,000. I said, the blazer like that, it just burned on me. Okay? At that point in my life, $8,000 was too much to pay for a blazer. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Now, is $8,000 too much to pay for a blazer?
It depends.
Perspective. Okay. I said at one point in my life, $8,000 is too much to pay for a blazer. Right? So what changed?
Your perspective.
What changed was I actually went into the store and I put that jacket on. Now I have a what? Now I have a desire for it.
That changes.
And once I have a desire for something, it has to happen.
Ooh.
This is making sense, guys?
Yes.
This stuff is really simple. All right? But what most people do, though, you allow your past to dictate your future. Because I couldn't afford that last year, then I'm already predicting that I can't afford that next year.
Come on,
Because I can't
sis.
live in this home right now, you're already predicting that you can't live in that home a year from now.
Why would you do that? Why would you
That
do
makes
that?
Now, for me, and probably for you as well, the material things are not so much about just accumulating material things. All right? For me, it's more of like knowing that I can have it.
Ooh, I'm gonna stop there.
Does that make sense? Like
Yes.
I'm developing my mind to the point where, because it's all relative.
It's all relative.
Right? There are people that pay, $50 million for a jet. Are they going to look and say $8,000 is too much to pay for a blazer? Right? I mean, it's some really wealthy. I mean, really, really wealthy.
Ooh, y'all don't get why I get so excited about this, but it's because I've tried it. I've tried it and it works. This is the same guy that asked me, like, what's one of the most expensive or nicest, what's one of the best, nicest hotels in Atlanta? And I told him at that time, the Ritz-Carlton in Buckhead. And he said, I want you to go there. Things that you are doing in your house, I want you to go there and do them there. If you're reading a book, you're listening to a training, you're making phone calls in your house, get your butt up and go there and do them there. He told me this. You go do it there, Kim. And I was like, I ain't never been in the Ritz-Carlton in Buckhead. In my mind. Because when I'm talking to them, I'm just like, okay, sounds good. Yes, sir. But in my mind, I'm just like, what? Go to the Ritz-Carlton in Buckhead? That's not my side of town, right? And that's the whole point. That was the whole point. Went there the first time, felt extremely awkward. Why? Because of me. Because it was outside of my comfort zone, because it was a place I was not accustomed to being in, an environment where people didn't look like me. And I was thinking in my head that they're thinking stuff, but they ain't thinking about me. They was not thinking about me. For real. They was thinking about mergers and acquisitions and where's the next vacation. They think about stuff they got going on in their life. When nobody studying this chick, okay? Sat down, couldn't afford. Really, I wasn't going places buying food back then. I could barely afford stuff from they ain't got too many things on the dollar menu. But he said, even if you get just get some water, make you some coffee, take your own coffee, because at that time we were in a coffee company together, and so I would always have coffee in my purse. He said, just get you some hot water. Go during the day when it's not busy. Don't go during rush hour and hold up a table, but go during the day when it's not busy. Ask the waitress for hot water, and then just leave her a tip. That's all you have to do, Kim. That's all you have to do. You don't have to order anything. And guess what? That first time I went there, I'm feeling all awkward. I sit down at the table. The table's little, and she come over with a little cute thing and sit down. I'm like, what is this? Man, she had peanuts. There was candy in there. There was all these complimentary things. I'm like, this is free? I was like, this is free? It was free. So I could eat it. It was good too. It was good, like some little crackers and just a variety, an assortment, right, of different little snacks. That's free. So I'm used to just bread, right? But I'm like, okay, cool. I think I asked her for another one of them trays. I was like, But you know what? The waitresses were just like me. Now, they didn't look like me, but they were just like me. They didn't come from that side of town either. So when I sat there, the waitresses, okay, so the people in there, they ain't judging me because they ain't even thinking about me. The waitresses ain't judging me because they are just like me. It was all in my head. So when I asked for another, I'm like, oh, I have another tray of these things. Like, sure, girl. Boop. Get my hot water, make my coffee. The place is not busy. And I let the waitress know, hey, I don't need anything. I just want to sit here and read a book and drink the hot water. She's like, okay, girl. Let me know if you do need something. It was all in my head this whole entire time. I sat there, I read my book, and I stayed there till I felt more comfortable than when I arrived. And the second time I went, I felt better. The third time I went, I felt better. The fourth, the fifth time, I started bringing my son. He did the same thing I did the first time. Oh, look at this place. I was like, hush, 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 boy, hush. Act like you've been somewhere. Because I said, dang, if I'm in my 30s and I felt this out of place in this place, I don't want that to be my son's story. I don't want him to go through 3 decades of life feeling like he doesn't belong in certain areas. I'll be damned. That can be my story. That's not going to be my son's story. He's going to pick up where I left off. He's not going to start where I started. That's stupid. So I started taking him to the Ritz-Carlton to do his homework. I drink my coffee. And then one day, we had enough money to get some chicken wings. Best chicken wings ever. And I felt so stereotypical ordering chicken wings at the Ritz-Carlton, but I was like, I want to see what they working with, though. They working with some good stuff, man. It was really, really good. It was really, really. I was like, these Ritz-Carlton chicken wings. My son, too, they were good. My son was like, Mama, these are good. I was like, I know, right? But yeah, and then they would have live jazz on Fridays, and that became like a little date night for me and my son. Coffee and chicken wings. It started with coffee and just me. Then it was coffee, chicken wings, me and he. Friday nights of jazz. I remember this one time there was like a bridal reception there, and so the bride, the soon-to-be bride, and all the bridesmaids were on the dance floor dancing the jazz, and my son, And he's snapping. He went on that dance floor. Man, all those women took turns dancing with him. Oh, he is so cute. My son was whipping it out and doing all his things and feeling that jazz. Honey, man, next thing I know, somebody walked up to my son, gave him $10. Another person came and gave him $5. Somebody gave him like, basically at the end of that song, my son had like over $40. Over $40 in cash. I was like, well, dang. And he had a good time. We started having good times. Then I mean, after a while, I felt very comfortable going there. I would always talk to the what was it? The lady that cleaned the bathrooms. Was she like housekeeping? And she was Spanish, and then she found out I spoke Spanish, so we were speaking, just learning about her life in Spanish. She felt good to have somebody there that spoke Spanish. I felt good just to know her because she was an awesome lady. And then like I started telling people to meet me there, right? And this is all because of David Imonitie, because he said go there. This is the hotel that he would stay at when he would come to Atlanta. So after a while, people would be like, hey, Kim, I want to talk to you about such and such, or I want to find out more, whether it was somebody on my team or a client, and they'd be like, where can we meet? Let's meet somewhere downtown. I'd be like, cool, let's meet at the Ritz-Carlton. They'd be like, Ritz-Carlton? Yeah, let's meet at the Ritz-Carlton. Now I'm going up in the Ritz-Carlton like I own that piece. Hey, what's going on? Hey, what? Nice to see you again. And guess what? Ain't too many black girls with locks with hair like this. They go up in the Ritz-Carlton though. Real talk. So people came to know me real quick. They came to know me real quick. And as long as you're nice to people, for the most part, unless they're complete buttholes, but for the most part, as long as you're nice to people, they'll be nice to you. When I went there, I never made any problems. I never tried to act like I was there to do anything besides drink a cup of hot water. I let them know I'm just here to read my book and drink my hot water. And so when I would start meeting people there, now the Ritz-Carlton stuff is like, hey, what's going on? Back then I was called Q. What's going on, Q? I was like, hey, what's going on? So now I'm walking in, the people that I'm meeting are like, oh, you really do come here? And I'm like, yeah. And it's so funny because your comfort zone, y'all, it can expand if you push your boundaries. The same place where I was so intimidated to go into, now I'm walking like I own that piece. What? Can't tell me nothing. I was up in there making friends, right? Hey, we should do lunch. Yes, we should. Yes, we should. Let me know. Let me know when you want. No, real talk though. I met some amazing people there and had some amazing subsequent business lunches and dinners with people that I met at that Ritz-Carlton. And just the feeling of feeling like I didn't belong there, feeling like all eyes were on me the first time I walked in, versus the feeling later on when I can go in there and people say, hey, Kim, and I say, hey, back. I never stayed there a night in my life. Never stayed there a night in my life. It's since been sold, and it's a boutique hotel now called the Whitley, whatever. But it still got good chicken wings. Me and Candy went, and yeah, ain't that right, Candy B? And it was the same thing when Candy B joined my team. And then one day I was like, girl, we should go to the Ritz-Carlton. She was like, the Ritz-Carlton? Y'all know Candy from Alabama. She was like, the Ritz-Carlton, go there for what? I said, listen, Jeffro, bring it down a notch. Because now I'm acting like I don't relate, like, why you acting like that? It's just a Ritz-Carlton, girl. Ain't no big deal. Ain't no big deal. But I know exactly why she acting like that. And that's exactly why I told her that's where we're going. And guess what? We went. She acted the way I knew she would act. And then we did a Facebook Live. That Facebook Live, I need to put that in the thing. I'm gonna try to find it. I'll throw everything in the comments of my Facebook. So if you're not connected with me on Facebook, then do that, because I always bring receipts. But yeah, so we doing a Facebook Live in the lobby of the Ritz-Carlton. And while we were there, some very attractive fellas, some very attractive lads came up, and they just started talking to us like, what are you guys doing? And we were like, oh, we monetize social media and da-da-da. So again, it was the same thing like with me. Candy had all these ideas in her mind, like, I'm from Alabama, and no, this is not my side of town, because her side of town was my dang on side of town. And so, now she's like, oh, now I'm talking to people who don't look like me, and we're having a good conversation, and I'm completely comfortable in a place where initially I was like, why would I go over there? You know what I'm saying? Expand that comfort zone. I was talking to my team, especially the ones that are in the WhatsApp Believe Nation. And by the way, David Imonitie, what you just heard, that snippet, on a regular basis, it's not daily yet, I gotta do better, but he has a platform called Believe Nation where he teaches you in short videos daily how to build your belief. He was going to charge for this platform and it's free. Y'all know I've given out my referral link. I have had like 300 people click the link. No, 400 people click the link, but only 200 people join. See, this is how I know it's not a money issue with your butt. It's not a money. You don't have money because you're not making money. You're not making money because you don't have money. For the majority of y'all don't even have the seeds of belief. How can you not join a platform that is free, that is run by a multimillionaire, where he could charge you? He's giving you the blueprint. He's giving you the information. And it's normal for those of you like, what's the catch? Man, if you don't carry your butt on, I'm so dang tired of grown people thinking that everything is a catch all the time. That's why you don't have nothing half the time, because you think it's always a catch to something. And people ain't got time to be sitting up here explaining to you, no catch. Like, genuinely, when people have abundance and when they've been blessed in their life and they've gone through trials and tribulations and made it to the proverbial other side, they genuinely just want to help other people do the same. Everything doesn't have to be a catch. People ain't got time to be giving you that long spiel every single time they want to do something nice for your butt. Here's the catch. You just trick yourself out of your spot. Here's the catch. You always used to being around a whole bunch of people who got a whole bunch of catches. So your brain can't even fathom somebody doing something nice to you, because they understand that we live in a world of abundance. And if their cup runneth over, it is their duty, their responsibility, their obligation to help others let their cups runneth over as well. You don't understand that. Successful people understand that by giving, they always get more back tenfold. That's the catch. You just tricked yourself out of your spot, Mr. and Mrs. Skeptic. That's the catch. Grow your comfort zone. Go places you're not used to going. Same girl, Candy B. For her birthday one time, she said, I'm going to the Rolls Royce dealership. I said, go. Candy went it was like an hour, 45 minutes to an hour from Conyers. Because the Rolls Royce dealership, it ain't on our side of town of Atlanta, right? So she drove from 45 minutes to an hour from the Rolls Royce dealership all the way. At that time, the twins were in school, right? Because as mothers, we got to do things real strategically. So she drove all the way up north to Alpharetta, Roswell. She gets there. She's like, okay, I'm almost there. I'm like, okay, cool. Because I already know how she is. She's like, I wish you were here. I'm like, I'm not. You got it, girl. So about 30, 45 minutes later, I get a phone call and she's like, hey, I'm on my way back home. I'm like, how was it? And she's like, well, I really didn't get out. And I forget what stupid reason she gave me for driving all that way and then not completing the task at hand, like getting out and what did he talk about? Stimulate your five senses. Experience that. He did the same again. He told me to go to the Ritz-Carlton in Buckhead. He also told me to start going to the Mercedes-Benz dealerships that I normally wouldn't go to. He said, Kim, sit in the car, smell the leather, feel the leather, take selfies of yourself in the car. Put one hand on the steering wheel and take a picture of your hand on that steering wheel. Get the experience. You know that is so much better than a dang old stock photo that you got from Google. And I'm talking about, I'm doing my vision board. Girl, bye. If you ain't experienced it, you still don't got the vision. Really? You got to get as close to that thing as possible for that dream to become a desire that you will run after like your butt is on fire. So anyway, I forgot what stupid excuse Candy gave me for going all the way up there and then basically turning back around, not even getting the experience, which is what she went there for. But I said, you turn that car around and right now before I jump through this phone, and you get your butt out of the car and you go in that dealership. Again, it's the middle of the day. A lot of rich people, there is no they buy cars all the time. But I was like, you go back to that dealership. You didn't come all this way. And luckily, she's teachable and coachable in that moment, not always. But she went back and, let me see if I can, she went back and she found this blue Rolls Royce, y'all. I want to say, I haven't seen a blue like that. Ooh, It was kind of like this, but darker. That when I say that baby was so sweet, she looked so good. She found a Rolls Royce. She found she spoke to the dealer and said, "Hey, today is my birthday, and I was just coming up here. I was just dream building. I don't want to take up any of your time." And guess what? Just like myself, she found that those were all stories that she made up in her head about what somebody would say or think if she went to the Rolls Royce dealership. The guy who she spoke to was like, "Oh, sure. No problem." He was going to let her test drive one, she said, but she said it was something. It was something, she said. Some reason she didn't test drive it. I forget. But anyway, that guy took pictures for her. He was like, "You want me to take a picture for you?" She was like, "Kim, he was so nice and this and that." And I'm so glad I went back. You got to experience this stuff, y'all. You have created this narrative in your head, this story, this highlight reel that you keep playing over and over again about why you can't do this, you can't have that, and just replaying and refortifying generational curses. Just because your mom, your dad, your sister, your brother, your cousins, your aunties, your grandparents, whoever, just because they didn't have those things, that don't mean you can't have it. Just because your friends don't have it, don't mean you can't have it. Just because your church members believe that you got to be poor to get to heaven, that don't mean you got to be poor. You are an adult. The only thing you have is the power to believe what you want to believe and the freedom to choose what you choose. Why would you choose a life of misery, frustration, poverty, brokenness, hopelessness? All men are dogs. What did he say? What did he say? What did he say? Most people fail because they allow the past to dictate their future. I don't mix well with females. You know, I don't really be messing with, I don't have female friends like that. All men are dogs. You know, the struggle is real. What? I don't even like repeating those things as an example to y'all because it's toxicity. When he even talks about the power of your words and your speech. Don't be lazy in your language is what Jim Rohn said. But when you speak life to situations that bring you death, why would you do that? When you have a choice, what? Like the being say on social media, "What is you doing, baby? What is you doing with what is you doing, baby? Why would you do that?" People do it all day long. And they look at me like I'm crazy. "Well, Kim, I'm just a realist." No, your reality is relative. You can be a realist. I'm a realist too. So if we're both so real, and we're both living in the same earth, why are our realities so disparate? Could it be because your reality is a choice? No, it's not, Kim. How can you put yourself up by the bootstraps if you ain't even got no shoes? Okay, that's not the majority of y'all. There are very few people that fall into that category where there really is absolutely not a cotton picking thing that they can do about their situation, but you probably ain't it. I got somebody that just signed up on my team. She has a debilitating autoimmune autoimmune disease that has her bedridden, has low vision. And that heifer still got 10 samples out last week so she could get her bonus. Now, doggone it, if she could do it, some of these rusty, crusty examples that some of you rusty, crusty, dusty adults giving me, it don't matter. Now, that's just real talk. Y'all got every excuse ever under the sun. The excuse that you're using is somebody else's reason. The excuse that you are using to not get the dang on thing done is somebody else's driving force for why they have to get it done. It's all relative. Anyway, I ain't got time to be preaching to y'all. Y'all still don't listen to me. And that's par for the course. I'm going to go back to my training with Mr. Imonitie. If you would like to become a part of Believe Nation with me, there's no catch. And it's free. Okay? So if you would like to do that, I will leave my referral link down below of my Facebook video. Instagram people, I know y'all don't have Facebook accounts, but hopefully you can use your mama account to go to Kimberly Prosperity over at Facebook, and then you can see where I drop all the stuff in the comments. Okale dokale. Orate tate. All right, y'all. I will be doing this all night long. The spiritual work, the unseen is always greater than the seen, but it's so much more powerful. Like so many people say, "Kim, tell me what to do. Tell me what to say." And slow down and tap into your inner power. Get in touch with you before you worry about what to do. Learn your strength. Learn how to connect with infinite intelligence. Learn how to do the work behind the scenes before you go through the process. Stop talking about the prize and being so prize driven that you're disrespectful of the process. If you want to put a bee in my britches, do that. Disrespect this process. Act like you're exempt from doing what we all have had to do. That's the best way to piss me off. But I can't stay pissed for too long because David Imonitie says it's a low frequency vibration. So bye.